One, two, one, two. Hey, everybody. I am uh, ready to do some work here. We're in Blender here. I just created this blanket, and I've got the kid and his mom in here. They are animated. I don't know what just happened to my blanket, but that's not good. Um, of course, it just happened. Let me find out what the deal is here. I think, unfortunately, that I sculpted this on uh, a frame in the timeline instead of at frame 0, which could be really not great. Okay, well, so much for this video. Yeah, because now this is scaled wrong or something. Um, that is the weirdest thing. Let me see if I can maybe save it. I don't even know what would do that. It looks maybe beyond saving. Babe, I am broadcasting. Maybe it's savable. And just triple check here on some things. And I think that's savable there. Looks like it. Anyway, cool. Well, I think I saved it. So I've got the mother. She is reaching down, touching the kid, and she backs off. He moves his head a little bit, blinks his eyes. And so we have that. I need to do the pillow. Also, we're going to take this blanket out and put it in Substance Painter and give it a texture, which I have no idea what texture I'm going to use on that. Let me just kind of get this situated here really quick. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to say what I want displayed at the moment. My cat, I apologize if I have to take a moment away here and there and tell it to stop doing what it's doing, but she's in rare form tonight, to say the least. So let's go ahead and transition over here. I'm going to set up my window for, I need to find a blanket material here. Blanket, what would you call it? Pattern. Let's go with kids blanket pattern, actually. And just going to close up some things here. And let's go ahead and get you guys over here as well. We can just do this and go to kids blanket pattern. I think I already was in the process of looking that up. But here we go. So I need to find specifically a pattern that, you know, isn't licensed. And I'm going to go like boys, kids, boys, blanket pattern, 2D texture maybe. And we can't use Pikachu or Spider-Man, unfortunately. But he loves, I think the kid loves dinosaurs. He's got dinosaur pajamas on. So that's one possibility. Finding a 2D pattern that's the right size and nothing that's licensed is going to be kind of the thing. So let's go kids, boys, fun pattern. We'll do it this way. So now we've got some other stuff to choose from. One of these dinosaur patterns that'll probably pop up. It wasn't this one, but something similar to these I used for his pajamas. Kids' toys. Let's just look there. So Legos is going to be way too colorful, not good for what we're trying to do. But I want it to feel kind of like a blanket, you know, so this sort of bluish color is good. However, and that looks like a tiled one. I would want that in green, so I might have to go in and change the color eventually. But that is not bad. I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and save that, and we're going to stick it in a one of our folders here. The Glen is what we're calling this, but we're actually calling it the Grove. And we're just going to call this blanket pattern for now. We'll see if we actually wind up using it for that. And here we have the blanket. We've already UV'd it. I'm going to save real quick while I've got this fixed and not screwed up. And we're going to, once it saves, export the blanket out as its own individual. Oh, that noise is just really fun.
Sorry, she's playing with her.
Yep, got to pick everything, the perfect time to do everything. Okay, so that is saved. Now we're going to export this out just as an FBX, which is fine. We're going to put it in the same folder. We're going to call this blanket for sub because I'm using this in Substance Painter. I'm going to say selected objects only. We don't need animation or anything like that, so good to go. And we say export. Hopefully all will go well. And now back over here in Substance Painter, we're just going to start painting. Let it boot up the little initial dude here, and we'll start a new file. And we're going to select our blanket for sub, and we'll just have a 4K document for the moment. This will probably have to be a 4K texture since it's so close to the camera. We're just going to go, that is good, that is really good there, and say OK. So it's going to pop our blanket in right there. There we go. And we should be a two-sided blanket with his little body lump in the middle of it. I think that works just fine. There's our UVs on that side. We're not really going to need to look at those a whole lot, so we might as well use the real estate better. Now here is our material we're using on it, and we're just going to come in here and add a couple of things to our maps, ambient occlusion and displacement, just in case. We're going to bake the maps so that, you know, we get all of our appropriate information, and we're going to do this at 4K, and that's good, everything, and bake. And now we just wait for those maps to bake. And you guys aren't even seeing this, but there we go. Sorry, I hadn't transitioned over. My bad. Okay, that could have been really bad if I just kept the whole thing that way the whole time, huh? That's okay. All right, so we're baking maps. You guys can text, comment, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff too, if you like. And we're done, so we'll return to painting mode here. Sorry about the background noise. My cat is now playing in a box. Okay, so now we're going to import our, let's see, import resources. We're going to add that particular pattern, and hopefully it lines up. I didn't take it into Photoshop to make it a tiling surface, or texture, so we're just going to cross our fingers and hope for the best. And it's not importing for some reason, so let me go check as to why real quick. We're going to head back over to our nifty folder here. And right there. And we're going to see, so that is not an appropriate file. So we're going to actually have to go to this website probably to actually download this. This one's actually pretty good. I like the tint of this one. This is all free license stuff, which is good. So we're just going to go ahead and download it. I hope I do that right here. Make sure we give the attributions, meaning we give the credit where the credit is due. I'm going to jump you guys back to Substance Painter really quickly, I believe here. And it's supposed to be doing that, but it is going to black for some strange reason. Of course it is. Not sure exactly why that is. I went to the resources is why. So here we go. Let's just jump back here for the moment. And I will go ahead and unzip this guy and save it off real quick. And I'm using OBS. I'm not used to using OBS, so this is part of my issue. So we just got that. We're going to now cut it, stick it over in our folder for our film just real quick. This cat has got me on edge so bad. I'm sorry, guys. It's like lately, anytime I try to do anything, she's becomes a holy terror at that moment. She's not so bad at the moment, but normally she's walking around, wants to knock the camera stand around, or start meowing in the middle of everything, and it's just like on cue, and I don't know what her thing is lately. But let's add our resources here. I guess you guys can't see that now, so we're going to swap back over to our display capture here. You should be able to see everything here, and we're going to grab this, and it should be that guy right there. There we go. It's undefined. We're going to call it a texture. I'm going to stick it in our assets there. That almost sounded bad. And we're going to now check out our layers, and we're just going to take this guy and hopefully be able to just drop it into the image, the color right here where it says base color, and drop this right into base color, and it should update our layer. And I'm not seeing it doing it. Oh, I see. We're using it as a paintbrush. All right. So what we need to do then is, I believe anyway, a fill layer or a projection layer. But I think a fill is probably going to be our best bet. We're going to do that one more time. Just drag this over here into base color. There we go. Now we need to, on our UV here, repeat it, tile it. And as you can see, because it's a seamless texture, it tiles perfectly. We can see race cars and basketballs and airplanes and all the perfect stuff for a boy's blanket. I don't think I want to add anything more to it. I don't want to make it too threadbare. It is going to need to be rougher than that, because right now it's pretty shiny, like if it's made out of glass or vinyl. So we're just going to up the roughness on that, let it be nice and rough. No metallic. I don't know if I want to try and put a bump on it. It might be kind of cool though, because then we can have it be like fibers. Let's find out if I can throw that into the normal, and maybe that will work. It looks a little weird being in the normal, because the normal is purple, so it needs something that has the normal colors. So we're going to find, there should be a height here. There's a displacement. Let's try it in displacement and see if that works for us. It's not, and I don't know why. That is good there. I don't think that that's going to work in displacement. Let me see if there's another fiber. Now I could throw this flakes in the normal to show you what a normal map will do when you drop it in there, and you could see kind of there what's going on. However, that's not what we want, and obviously the size of that is also kind of wrong. So let's just go ahead and see if there's something we can do. Maybe material-wise from another layer, I think would be the smartest thing to do. Because I don't have anything just hiding out in there. So the best thing to do is come over here. I'm going to search fabric. And we're going to create another layer and delete everything except for the normal map, because that's smart. So right here, and on color, we're just going to turn off the color channel so we have all this going on. We don't need the roughness. We don't need emissive or any of these other ones. AO maybe. Displacement, we're not going to need metal. The normal, we're going to save. The height, we're going to save just in case. And we're going to look up fabrics, and let's see. That looks just about right in my opinion, unless we want something kind of fleece. But let's try this dude first. We'll just throw it in here. We're actually, you know what? That fill layer doesn't make any difference because we're not going to use it anyway. Just realize that. So what we are going to use, though, is this layer here. And we're going to try and make this get as small as it needs to be, so that we can have this very knitted blanket vibe here without looking too rough. Something kind of like that. And then we're going to remove the color. First of all, the opacity, the metallic, all that stuff. And we're going to remove the rough, which already got roughness. We're going to remove the color, and now we have our blanket with its normal map, so you can kind of get that idea that it feels a little more rough. Let's increase the height of that real quick if it will let me. I'm just going to go to 200. I doubt it'll let me put it in, but you never know. And see what happens. Nope, it's just going to 100. There's got to be a way, though, that I can come down here to our normal channel, I believe. Right here, maybe. It's just saying that it has them or not. All right, so that's not doing exactly what I would like. But you can see the difference. It's doing some. If I make it bigger, though, it's probably going to be too large and unrealistic. So I kind of want this much smaller because it just has that nice texture. And so height isn't going to work for us. Let's go with normal. And normal's not going to go any higher than 100, which is a real shame. Just kind of wonder why I can't do some type of an increase on that. You would think. Well, the height is helping. So let's go into the height channel here and take this down now because it's obviously too much. That's more of what we want right there. Perfect. So now it has that little bit of a fleece kind of almost knitted kind of thing going on. Hopefully that will be believable. It might even need to be a little smaller because I don't want it to be too giant. Real tiny bumps, you know? Like almost like a knitted material. And so we're going to take that height and just kind of knock it back even a little bit more, maybe like that. I think that works pretty well there because we are going to be at some point right up against him about like this, and we're going to need to see that about that distance away. So I'm thinking that's working pretty good. Unfortunately, I know I have a seam kind of running here, but maybe nobody else will notice that, and it'll just be me. There's mom's butt dent right there, and cool. All right, I think that's going to work for us. And let's get these textures out of here and back on the blanket. So we'll just export our textures. Obviously, we're going to be putting these in our specific folder. And it's going to be right here. And just going to put it in this folder there, and we're going to say good. We'll go with 4K on it, and because they pretty much have to be, and say export, and it's going to write all of our maps out. Cool deal. And now we can go back to Blender here, and we're going to turn on our material view. It's going to take a second because it's got to load all of our materials in. And while we wait for that, have you heard about our Lord? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, guys, for watching and supporting me in the crazy stuff that I do. Appreciate that very much. All right, so now let's get back to this. Right here, we're going to go into our shading tab and get a better view of the bed. And there it is. We're going to go into material view in here as well, so we can see the basic materials, no lighting. And right now we have no material on here. So we're going to need to throw one on. Boom. We're going to call it blanket. And I'm trying to make it to where this blanket does not have to move at all during this whole film. So we're going to cut away at really strategic points. But we're going to add in an image texture right here. And we're going to copy and paste that. Copy, paste. And we're going to paste. And we do it one more time. Paste. For some reason, it is a little slow on the pasting today. And we're going to add one more thing, just a vector normal map node. Connect the color to color, the normal to normal, just like the regular drill. We're going to first of all go in here, and we had right here is where we put everything. We're going to put our blanket normal in there and make sure that's set to not sRGB, but a non-color. So now we're going to have our, oops, that's mom's butt. We're going to have our little fleece, and that looks great on our blanket there. You can see that. Not really fleece, but you know, kind of like fleece. Knitted, fleecy. Okay, now we're going to go into our roughness, and same way we're going to come here to the same folder, grab the roughness map for that blanket, and make sure that we stick it in non-color as well. So now we have a rough, fleecy blanket. And now metallic, which we're not even going to need, but it is part of the PBR workflow. So it's better to have it and say we don't need it than to not have it and say, crap, we need it. All right, so now base color to base color. And we're going to open that and go to base color for the blanket. And there we go. That looks pretty fantastic in my opinion. And if we turn on lighting, this is going to be really basic lighting here, but you can get the idea of just how that will kind of read in the actual movie there. So pretty much like that. That is good to go. Now, from what I am remembering, we need to come up with a pattern for this bed sheet, which could be the same, but I think if it's just kind of a light blue cottony material, I think that will work. It doesn't need to be anything special because it's just underneath everything, including the pillow, whatever it's going to be. So just kind of make it match the blanket slightly, something kind of like that maybe. And it also goes along with this really kind of morose kind of color palette, I think, in a way. Poor kid, you know, blah, blah, blah. And that's me being all heartfelt right there. And yeah, I think that's looking good. Looking all right. I think something in the script, I'm going to need to listen to the audio again. I'm remembering now talking about him eating his lunch. So we might want to move this Rubik's Cube over and, or at least put the plate, you know, somewhere where he can reach it. Because that'd be cruel of mom to bring that in when we don't even know what he's sick with. And make it to where he can't reach the food. That'd be kind of cruel. So let's just check this out also from this other camera while I'm in here. View, we're going to go down here to cameras, set active. And the camera in this shot moves over to reveal her, you know, caring for him there. We're not going to see anything on that table in that shot, so we're safe as far as that goes. So everything's good to go. And I think one thing we do need to do for sure is, let me switch my camera back. I wonder if I can just switch it here. Frame camera bound, set object, active, viewpoint. Strange to me that you can't just click between cameras. I think that's something they need to probably do in the future, because basically what I have to do now is come out here, find my other camera like here, and say, hey, use this camera as the active camera. So anyway, this is the room. Been working on it for a while now, just to get all of this stuff in here. And but all the animation for this first and second shot is in here. This is gonna push forward. We're gonna cut to away from this one before her arm comes down, and then we're gonna cut to the other camera moving out from behind the box, and see her touching him and then moving away like that. The lighting will be much better. This is just kind of baseline. It's not going to be this dark, especially in this particular shot. But we do need some a little bit of curtains, because it just looks like they moved into somebody else's house and didn't bother dressing it up. They're like, he's going to die anyway. This kid doesn't need curtains. No, we can't do that. So let's create a curtain rod maybe. I'm just going to go back into this mode, jump out, and create a curtain rod. There's a couple ways it can be done. I'm just going to do it kind of an old school way. Well, let me just check something real quick. Let me see here. Could add a Bezier curve. But that is not good. So we're going to add, let me see, one more chance at this as a NURBS curve. You know what I think I'd rather do? I'm just going to do this as a cylinder. It's a bit more old school, but it works really well. Let's just go with a cylinder. Where are you? There we go. That took a minute. And obviously that's going to be much smaller. I'm not using my shortcut keys here. We're going to make this stick out a bit like so. And we're going to duplicate that guy and rotate him. Oh, dang it. I am doing this on a keyframe again, which I don't want to do. So going to actually delete that keyframe. We're going to duplicate this guy now. Turn this 90 degrees. Negative 90, that's fine. And we're going to lengthen this and reposition it. I'm going to turn off my create automatic keyframes. That'll definitely help the scenario quite a bit. I'm just going to put that at the end like so. And we're going to go into edit mode. Grab the endpoints here like that. And let's just move them out as far as this window is going to be. So what I'm going to do now is take these objects. I'm going to join the two of these as they are. You're like, wait, what are you doing? But watch. I'm going to join these. I'm going to shrink them down. Get rid of this guy because we don't really need him at the moment. And in wireframe mode, see-through as well, we're going to take this and basically be able to see how wide our curtains need to be. Once I get this kind of size down also to the scale that the rod really should be, which isn't too bad right there. If we go back into edit mode now, you can take these end guys, pull them over to about there, and then we can possibly, he said, hopefully, take these polys here, possibly the end one as well. Let's just do this and then do this. So we have all those. We're going to duplicate those over to the end to where we have a full rod. This one's going to have to be like that. No, I just realized we need to move these a little farther. And there we go. So back in object mode now. You can take this whole dude. Let's look from the side. You can take this whole thing, move it back, rotate it 90 degrees this way. Just go 90. And go look from the front one more time and get it positioned on the actual window frame like that. I'm going to create a little curtain and just have it kind of pulled to the side on either side. And we need to give that guy a material real quick. Let's just knock that out there and call this curtain rod. So everything you make, you gotta make a material for. I think we should just make it the silver that I had on the lamp. We're just going to call this lamp silver. Boom. And now it will actually have a material that we'll be able to see once we look through the door here. That is nice and silver. And that's good to go. These will just stay as painted windows. We got some Lego figures there I built that we'll have to give color at least to as well. And this guy will need to be exported out. In fact, I'm probably going to have to export this out the window frame like so, not the camera, of course. Oops. Okay, let's just select the rod, the frame of the window, and we'll export that out as a FBX that we can use as a dummy for Marvelous Designer to create our cloth. Now you can do cloth simulation in here. I don't care for the way it works so much as I do the way it works in Marvelous Designer. It just looks and feels better to me. So we are going to do an export on this as an FBX. We're just going to call this curtain rod dummy for MD. Very simple. And export it. Next thing, of course, will just be making a curtain rod, or a curtain, I believe. I should say. Just come back to here, and on our window capture, we're actually going to swap this over to Blender real quick. And it's being real fun here. So we're going to say okay. I'm going to have to resize Blender down for this window, but so basically we're going to open up Marvelous Designer and get that done for you guys real quick. As soon as I sort my window size here, it's being difficult. There we go. Transition that over, and we'll open that up real quick. I just transition out, so I'm not broadcasting serial numbers or anything like that. Logins,
Okay.
Kenny logins, things like that to you guys.
I thought you were talking about
Nope. And so this will be pretty simple. We're just going to jump right over here to, if I can find it. For some reason my, there we go. Nope, not that one. Let's go to this one. And we'll say okay. And transition that over. It didn't transition for some interesting reason, but that's cool. All right. So here we go. We're going to import, and hopefully this will work the way I want to. We're going to say curtain rod dummy. Not that anybody's a dummy but me. And let me just get you guys once again back on the display there. And load type, add, good, good, good. None of that stuff. And we'll say OK. We'll say OK. Yes, proceed. Hopefully this will work. Fitting suit. We know we can't use a fitting suit. It's not a human. All right, cool. So here is that. And so basically what we need to do is create probably, yeah, a little loop that fits around, almost like a sock that fits around that whole thing, and then stitch to that will be the curtains, and then we'll have to slide them over and bunch them up and freeze them in place. I hope. So first things first, it would be nice if this had come in at another angle, but I don't think I can change that. Let me see if I possibly can, though. Because if this was at a 90-degree angle, oh, okay. You can, however, for some reason, it seems you can't move everything at the same time. And I don't know why this isn't grouped together because I exported it as a group. I thought. So when I move these, it's going to move them one at a time based where I've clicked them, as you can see. That's not going to work. Okay. So what we can do, maybe this will let me, either that or I'm going to have to re-export them out from Blender as a single object. Let's find out. I'm just going to go back there and check real quick. Let's see, selected, scale, apply, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think what I want to do is export this out as an OBJ just real quick. And I think that will save our bacon, as you say. Wavefront OBJ. We're just going to call this curtain rod dummy for MD. Again, selected only, and we're not going to keep object groups. I just want to make this one single file. So back in Marvelous Designer, where you guys have been this whole time, we're going to go ahead and delete these guys, and we're going to now import this OBJ, and this is going to be back in our folder. If you guys see any dirty words or anything there, just ignore them. Sometimes I name my files things I shouldn't because it's funny. And it really helps with organization. Okay, so open. I don't think there's any way to change that, so that's fine. That's fine. We're proceeding no matter what, and hopefully this will be all one object. So looks like it is, except for the rod is not, of course. So we'll try to get this as central as possible. And oh, it does turn to all the same. That's good. However, I'm not seeing it in our window at all anyway. Oh, Lord. Okay, so we'll try this back again here. Still nothing. Alrighty, well, I have another thing I can do. I'm going to import add, and I think that this may add it in a different way. So we're going to go ahead and say yes. Just rife with problems today, I'll tell you what. We want the little shadow down here on our pattern window is what I'm looking for, and I'm not seeing that unless it is so small that it's just not showing up or something, but it shouldn't be. So I'm not sure why we're not getting that, but you know what? We're going to work with this anyway. I'm not going to have the proper scale. Oh, it is very small. I'm not going to have the proper scale going in. So once again, we're going to add this as the FBX like we had in the beginning, and just go with that because at least it's going to be the proper scale, and that's what's really important. So just say okay, we know, proceed, and we'll get it. We just can't turn it, and it's totally cool. But at least we'll have some type of an indicator. Well, yeah, see right here, some type of indicator as to somewhat of the size. So now we can make a rectangle. Basically, I'm going to make it quite a bit longer this way. cancel. And that way we get the ability to wrap around. So I'm going to edit this. We may be like super small in comparison to what the scale should normally be for Marvelous Designer. It's definitely possible that that's the case. So all these I'll turn here in a bit. And then we're going to do another poly here in a second. But I think what I should do first is find out. Yeah, the cat. Just find out here just how much this needs to, how long this really needs to be. And we'll just come down here and see. We might have got it right in the beginning here, from the beginning. It's a little bit long, so we'll just back that off a little bit. It doesn't really matter that these are a tiny bit long or short, because in all honesty, they're going to be bunched up to the sides anyway. It's cool if it's right, but it's not absolutely necessary. I think also I'm going to do a front and back piece to this and not necessarily do a fold over. Just for the sake of making it a little easier. My cat has got me so discombobulated right now. I'm pushing buttons I'm not supposed to. All right, so we will select this guy. We're going to copy and paste it. Worry about the fronts and backs here in a second. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's most of my day. We have to take the cat in and get her spayed soon, because what we've been living with is just a lot of fun. Okay, and then, and I know there's some of y'all probably don't believe in that, but, well, that's y'all's cat. This is ours. Okay. We're going to do that. Maybe make it a little bit longer. I kind of want it to hang like they didn't, maybe they didn't find the perfect length of curtain, so it doesn't look like it's just computer perfect in every way. I think that's a pretty smart idea. Thank you very much. Okay, and now I'm going to sew these guys. We're just going to segment sew everything. In fact, let me, before I do that, kill the cat. No, I'm kidding. Take this, move it over and back a little bit so it doesn't have to snap so far, so it doesn't have to settle so much. And now, because no one likes settling, and take this and segment sew this lower end to this, and take this guy and sew it to this guy, and this one to this one. And when we simulate, it falls right off. Not sure why yet. Let's go ahead and reset that. That was very underwhelming. Let's just select all of our patterns here. I guess we have to do this separately in this window. And we will reset the 3D arrangement for those. Very curious as to why it fell through. It might be due to the size and scale of the objects here. It is quite possible that I should merge the top of these two. And I think I very well may do that by selecting our sewing. Actually, I think I can do it from the edit pattern, go boom, and then now say merge. And it's quite possible when I do this that, yep, they still don't work, which is totally cool. We'll turn that off and simulate everything once more. I think my sewing might have possibly come undone. Not sure yet. Let's see. Let's just reset for the selected. And let's turn this guy now. Whoops. Let's turn only this guy back this way. And we're going to turn that around. get it in the right place, because, well, if it's not in the right place, it doesn't feel good. No, I mean, if it's not in the right place, it won't work. So let's go ahead and segment sew this now back to here. And hopefully it still doesn't work. My favorite. Cool. All right, what problem are we having? He wondered to himself. Let's find out if this maybe needs some more friction. So let's try this at 2. And it said no. 2. No. Okay, cool. Let me see. Name mesh. Skin offset 3 millimeters. Static friction 8. Kinetic friction. Let's just put this up to 0.5 and see if that helps, because I believe I'll have another. No, let's try this reset and try again, and it keeps zipping right through it like it doesn't have enough time to simulate. We're going to try this fitting accurate fabric. We're going to reset this 3D arrangement one more time, and we're going to go for it now. And nope, it's still not. Cool. All right. One more time, folks. Let's just go here and reset. And that is the fast. We're going to go with the normal. And I can see right now that that's pushed a little through it, so that could help. Oops. Oh my gosh. Could help some. Let's try this and go boom. It's just snapping right through it as though it just doesn't exist at all. I'm wondering, is there a way? I'm wondering if I should size my mesh up. Size my mesh up. Yeah. I'm going to check it against an avatar just to see the size here, because if the avatar is huge, we're going to add. If it's huge, then we know our mesh is too small. And no, it's the absolute normal, perfect size. So therefore, it's maybe just that bar is too thin for it to do what it needs to do. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try pinning our fabric to the pole, which is a real kind of a pain. I don't want to have to do that. I kind of wanted actual physics here. Gosh, the cat is really being fun tonight. Okay, so we're going to try and tack. We're going to call this tack on avatar. And this is going to tack so to hopefully that point, but I don't think that worked because that's not an avatar. And unfortunately, you can't do tack on mesh. Edit tack. We're going to have to take that tack out. So with tacking, line tack, edit tack, just tack. We'll just try straight tack. And, well, not like that. But tack. See, it wants to tack to itself. That's not going to work. Okay, she's got to stop. And we're going to go edit tack. Okay, there's no tack to edit. How could I get this process better? Let's strengthen this top piece. We'll try that to start with as well. Maybe that will work, and it does not. Cool beans. It's because this collision on this mesh is not thick enough. So I'm wondering if I can change the collision on something, whether it's that or it is on the static friction. I'm just going to go 3. It won't let me. Goes to 1. Skin offsets. This may or may not be a problem. I'm going to change it from that to, let's go 6. Why not? And just see if maybe that helps our issue, giving it more space to grab onto, which it doesn't seem as though it is. It could be Also, now that I'm looking at this, it may be missing the pole completely. I don't think so, but it could be. So we're going to move that piece of fabric right here, and it may help. Boom. Nope. See, it's slipping right through it. Okay. That means that the collisions aren't happening. So we already strengthened it. That's solidifying it, makes it a solid piece, which we may want. Let's undo that. We may want that during the simulation. We'll see. Let me go ahead and reset that. This one I'm going to solidify just for the sake of the simulation. Boom. It almost worked. See? Let's see if I can get this to come up through here any more than it is. For some reason it's stuck on that end and not on the front pole where it needs to be. And I just, of course, removed it completely from it. Yeah, so it's having a hard time when it snaps seeing that. So another way of doing it might be make that fabric possibly wider, and we're going to try that now. Let's make this a lot wider so it has more of the ability to possibly catch that pole. I'm just going to try everything in the book. See what I'm saying? It just still doesn't want to, so we'll reset it again. Do you guys agree with beating animals? I'm kidding. Just a joke. But I am highly frustrated. All right, cool. Let's go 3D arrangement again. This really needs to be brought. You know what would be interesting is if she ran outside and never came back. No, if when I simulate this, that it simulated around both of these, possibly, and then I could detach it from the back one and it would still hang on the front one. See, kind of like that, but not like that. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to have to mess with it until it works and then fix what's wrong with it. We're just going to go ahead and do this. Run the simulation, get it around that. But see, it still is not getting around the front pole. Matter of fact, look at that. It's not even seeing that front pole. That has to do with the normals probably being reversed or something. I don't even know at this point. So what I'm gonna do, not exactly sure. Pull this loose of there, pull that loose of there, is we may wind up doing something like this, making the particular fabric. Okay, I've got this really sticky apparently. Friction, this seems to be like 0.05, I think is where they had it or something. So you can see that how slick that is now. This will just start sliding off of it or sliding around it. I'm going to also unstrengthen this area. So now when we simulate, it won't be so tough and thick, and also wind up freezing it kind of in this position. And then we're going to go ahead and take this piece back to fairly small, which means it won't probably work again. Lord, save me. This is not my favorite thing in the world. Okay. Fun stuff. You guys get to see the fun stuff now. So we're going to reset there. Yeah, it will not, absolutely will not work on that. This, as far as I know, I cannot change size on any of these pieces now in here. Just move them around. This guy, yeah, it'd be nice if I can just beef up the diameter of that pole, but I cannot do that. So it looks like I'm going to probably have to re-export that again from Blender real quick. I can show you guys what I'm doing here. And this will just be a temporary solution here. I'm going to make sure that this is, and that might have been a problem too, is my scale and rotation might not have been applied on any of these pieces, which is definitely always an issue. And let's try that. So I'm going to just re-export this dude. That's enough. As an OBJ, we're going to go curtain rod dummy for MD OBJ. Select it only. We're going to go back to Marvelous Designer here. We're going to import. We're going to add OBJ, hopefully without any issues. Add, blah, blah, blah. We can say it as an avatar, but let's go with, well, let's say it's an avatar, what the heck, and say, okay, it's going to give me some warnings. Proceed, because that's what you must do. Probably one more warning. Yep. And now we have nothing. Oh, because it's way, way, way down here. Very tiny like. I think, can I scale? I don't think I can scale it, which is wonderful. So we're going to have to do this once again as an FBX. Sorry guys, this is hugely annoying, I'm sure. So export now as FBX, and what I've done at this point is just gone back in and made sure that my scale and rotation was set, which may make it work because it's possible it was only seeing a bit this long instead of the full length of the window. But that also might not be true, so we could fail again, and then I'll have to go back and beef up the pole because it just might be too narrow for the collisions to work. So curtain rod, here we go. Add, okay, gotcha, proceed, and we're going to get one more warning here in a second, and boom. And let's see now if this time it will hopefully grab. Let me just move this a bit better and give it a go. Boom. And it tried, but it's still only trying at the end. So we're going to undo. We're going to move everything over. It's probably just going to fall through. I'm going to go ahead and strengthen the top just because that helps. But I kind of don't expect this to work here. And it does not. Okay. So we'll reset the 3D arrangement. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. And we're going to delete this guy. And we're going to go back into Blender. And basically this curtain rod, I'm going to create, I think, a cylinder. I think that's how I'm going to have to do this. Is just create a cylinder, a new one. And instead of the whole window business, because we've got our fabric the right size now, I'm just going to create a cylinder. Turn it 90 degrees. Let me find my stuff there. So 90. We're going to turn on wireframe so I can see the approximate size of the window. And the thing is, if I make the curtain oversized, it's okay because I can always scale the curtain down after it comes in here, which is, you know, part of my thinking. But let's just get that. I'm gonna duplicate this curtain rod here real quick, and then scale it up like a lot, and that may make it work. I haven't been right yet, so this might make it work. Let's look at it from the front to get the length right at least. A little bit less. And a little bit less in the diameter here. It's probably close enough for what I'm trying to do. Get it long enough. Move it over a little bit, and then I'm going to take it and just scale it up like considerably. Because the ratio will be right. We just need to make a curtain half that size and then mirror it. So now with this object applied, its rotation and scale, we don't need UVs on it. We're just going to export that cylinder out as an FBX. We'll say curtain rod dummy rod for MD, and we'll just going to make sure nothing is over here that's not right. Scale set to 1. I mean, as far as I know, all this is correct. Looks good. That's not important. Won't make a difference. But anyway, scale is a big thing with this stuff. So let's import one more time. That was an FBX. Let's do an add FBX. And we're going to go curtain rod dummy rod right here. And it's going to be obviously, see, and we don't have a blender scale here, unfortunately. So we're just going to say OK, OK, proceed, and one more after that, because our rod is not in a T-pose, which, how would you do that anyway? And we're going to go like so. Now, we're going to take both these pieces of fabric here, and we're going to scale the heck out of them, like so. It may give us an issue. I'm just saying. And we're going to take this piece by itself now. Move it up like that. I'm going to take our rod. I mean, this may be totally a bad idea just because the physics are not going to really run right, given the fact that, you know, it's all wrong. So we'll simulate. But remember, this is huge. This is like the size of a tennis court, trying to simulate, and I might have crashed it because it's so big that it's probably just not going to work at all. But it's worth a shot. Now, I probably could have made that pole like only twice as big as it was, and it would have worked fine. But if you notice, look, it's going right through it just the same. So definitely not the problem. So we're just going to back all this off. Size our fabric back down. And figure it out. All right, cool. Well, that's not working. So this is not the most productive video. We got our blanket, and we got our blanket textured and everything, which is great. And you got to see me mess around with a curtain that didn't work yet. So we'll be back with more stuff soon.